I'm going to say the size, you tell me the color. Or do you want me to say the color and you say the size? Color, size? Yeah. Okay. Yellow.
312.
Ooh, incorrect.
13?
Incorrect. You want to go again?
Blue is 675.
That is correct.
Brown?
Blue is 675.
Oh, I didn't mean 312.
Good job.
312 is brown.
Okay, 312 is brown. Absolutely. Do you want me to host this game or do you just want to start rattling things off?
Welcome to the Ask an Audiologist podcast, real audiology white papers written by real audiologists and explained to you by a real audiologist and a guy who isn't. Now, here are your hosts, Dr. Allie Tressiter and Kevin Ziener.
Here we are again for another brand new episode of Ask an Audiologist. I'm Kevin Ziener.
And I'm Dr. Allie Tressiter.
And today we find ourselves talking about hearing aid ... accessories. We've spent a lot of time talking about the hearing aid units themselves, but today we will focus on the components that help an individual fully maximize the capabilities of their hearing aid technology. Today's article was written by Dr. Nemet Adam out of Hearing Partners of South Florida, and boy, oh boy, would I prefer to be in South Florida than having to deal with our northern Nevada weather right now, but that's an entirely different podcast. So if you find yourself in the market for a hearing aid, this is the episode to learn about all the fun stuff that comes with it. So Dr. Allie, clearly you know more about this than I do, but I can add my, I would say 2 cents, but my 1 cent along.
Is it even a cent?
Yeah, I mean, are pennies even really worth anything anymore? So like I can give you a penny and it's really worth about 0.10 cents as it relates to this topic of hearing aid accessories.
Excellent.
But I do have a game that we're going to play in the middle of it, as Dr. Allie and I were preparing for this, about what colored batteries equal what size. So when we get to that, that's the impromptu game that we will play.
Excellent.
But hit us with all the more important stuff besides battery size and color.
All right. So in a previous podcast, we've talked about some of the things like cleaning tools and chargers and, of course, batteries.
Yep.
So what I really want to focus on now are some of the extra things that you can get along with your hearing aids to maximize your ability to hear in different environments.
Like things that people otherwise don't even know exist. It's like, no, I just put this thing in my ear. And it's like, well, it's 2023. You can do that, but there are far other cooler components that come with that too.
Absolutely. And so I'll start by saying that, you know, most of the time hearing aids are enough.
Okay.
Really. You know, they've got microphones that focus on who's speaking. They're really smart. So they've come a long way. But if you're in a position where you have found that your hearing aids aren't quite doing it, a lot of times that can be like really noisy environments.
Sure.
Or sometimes at home with the TV when you may or may not have a spouse who likes the TV a lot quieter.
And it may or may not be playing a bugle.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Listen, I think the bugle is a great instrument that people really need to embrace.
We're narrowcasting to just each other right now per a joke that we made not too long ago about we thought we heard a bugle recording this podcast. It turns out it wasn't a bugle, it was a TV show. But it was funny that Dr. Allie, who is an active military member, just had some PTSD and thought she heard a bugle playing.
It sounded like a bugle.
Fair
I'm
enough.
Just saying.
I trust you.
So if you want to hear the bugle better, there's a couple ways to go about it. If the bugle's on TV, there are actually pieces that can connect straight to the TV. They plug right into your TV.
Okay.
And then when you turn the TV on, your partner or whoever's watching TV with you can hear it normally as they would with the regular speakers. But with this piece that's plugged into the TV, it will actually stream that audio straight from the TV into your hearing aids.
Super cool.
It's super cool. And that way, you know, either through a remote control or through your app on your phone, you can control that volume on your own.
Which those are like accessories as well, right? The fact that your hearing aid connects to an app on your phone that allows you to do everything digitally is an amazing accessory now as well.
It's awesome. I mean, like, I'm always touting how cool hearing aids are because they do connect to the phone. You can stream your phone calls. You can stream music, stream this podcast.
Oh, how about that? Bring it all back.
Yes. But you can also, like, when you go into environments, right? If you're like, you know, this environment sounds kind of high pitched to me, or it's really hard to understand the person across from me. You can go into the app and actually make changes to bass, to treble, to how the microphones are working, and all sorts of things. So there's so much flexibility there. So they're just cool. Hearing aids are cool.
One of the other things that I've seen in my time is, though I've never touched it, I don't know what it does, I don't know how it works, but like a dehumidifier is pretty cool as well. Because as I've talked about on this podcast, I've put my own technology in rice before. Dr. Allie said, I don't think that's the best idea. Now manufacturers or other companies are saying, hey, rice not the best idea either, Kevin.
Correct.
We have these things that can actually help in a meaningful way in the form of hearing aid dryers or dehumidifiers.
Exactly. And so if you're somebody like, if you sweat a lot, like probably you just look like a sweaty kid.
I think I'm actually the least sweaty person that there's ever been. When I was in high school, I played 3 sports, not to brag, varsity, not a big deal. My parents, after a game, would look at me and be like, did you try your hardest? And I would say, of course I did. And they'd be like, you look the exact same as when you started. Now, granted, I did not have this beautiful hair. It was shaved. But I'm just the least sweaty human being to ever exist.
Was this like varsity, like you took the water to the players that were playing varsity?
That's rude. I was a varsity starter on the basketball team as well as the golf
default.
team.
You're 6'7", Kev.
To be fair, I just was on the soccer team. And so that bringing people water was probably more true in that capacity because I didn't really do anything on that team.
All right. So for somebody who is sweaty, which that's Kevin.
Definitely
don't let
not
him lie
me.
to you.
There are far sweatier people than me. And you know who you are.
It's really important if you're a sweaty person, or even if this happens a lot. People will accidentally get into the shower with their hearing aids on. It's really important to keep those hearing aids dry, and sometimes just taking them out of your ears at night and letting them stay out of the ear overnight is not enough to dry them out.
Okay.
And so there are different types of dehumidifiers. Some are essentially passive, where they've just got those desiccant balls in them.
Okay.
You've seen desiccants like when you buy new shoes or a new bag.
It's that little thing. It's that little package that comes in everything that when you feel around with it, it feels like little beads.
And Kevin ate them when he was a kid.
And I ate way too many of them, which is why I'm 6'7". But all they do is they absorb the little moisture that could potentially be in there.
Exactly. And so they have those. And honestly, most of the time, that's enough.
Yeah.
Because, as those suck out the moisture, the beads will turn color. And then when they actually are all, let's say they all turn to blue, that means they're all wet. You just put that piece into the microwave, it dries it out, and it's ready to go again.
Wait a minute. So it's reusable?
It's reusable.
Whoa. My favorite thing about this podcast is I don't think I know as much as anybody, especially a doctor like yourself, but I do feel like I know enough. Like I would have thought, no, I clearly know what a humidifier is or a dehumidifier is. And I know what a hearing aid dryer does. The fact that I did not know it's these little beads that absorb all the moisture, and then all you have to do to continue to reuse the beads is throw them in the microwave. Mind blown.
Listen, I'm not saying I am all knowing when it comes to desiccant beads. Like some of them may not be reusable.
No, I choose to believe that they're all reusable.
The ones I'm talking about specific for hearing aids, they come in these little jars, are reusable. But here's the thing. If you're going to put that piece into the microwave, make sure the hearing aids are not also in there because that has happened. And I've seen that before. And it causes some sparks, maybe a little explosion, and then dead hearing aids.
That's how you know she's a doctor. Because she's like, here's the thing. I know everybody is smart, but everybody can have a lapse in their smartness.
Small lapse.
And so when those beads turn blue, make sure that hearing aid that you have spent a lot of money on is not with them when you decide to toss them in the microwave.
I mean, if we're going to digress off this way, I've seen lots of things can happen to your hearing aids. So just let's give a general PSA. Don't leave them around dogs or cats. I have once had a patient.
Okay.
Listen, cats like to bat them around. Dogs like to eat them. And I was brought, and I'm not kidding, a hearing aid that was eaten and then came out the other end. And so
you put it right back in. Didn't even clean it.
Yep.
This is your punishment.
Yeah, that's
per our contract.
You're going to learn
goes right
today.
back in. Yeah. Exactly.
So that particular one, I may or may not have sent back to the manufacturer to be repaired.
Yeah. Not cool.
Sorry to that repair person.
Yeah, that guy quit.
That
guy quit the second he got that package. He's like, I can't do 9 more of these this week. It's not fair. All right, let's play our quick battery quiz. This is the first game we're ever going to play on Ask an Audiologist because we have just enough time. All right. For those of you who don't know, there are different battery sizes for different sized hearing aids, and they are color coordinated based on their numerical size.
And let me preference that preference.
Preface.
Words are really tough.
So welcome to podcasting, bro. It's the worst.
Let me preface that I've been fitting rechargeable hearing aids for years, and that I feel like Kevin's going to do something that's like going to throw me off.
Straightforward.
So if I get anything wrong, it's Kevin's fault.
And then if you get anything wrong, we'll just use air quotes around doctor. Okay? All right. I'm going to say the size, you tell me the color. Or do you want me to say the color and you say the size? Color, size? Yeah. Okay. Yellow.
312.
Ooh, incorrect.
13?
Incorrect. You want to go again?
Blue is 675.
That is correct.
Brown?
Blue is 675.
Oh, I didn't mean 312.
Good job.
312 is brown. I know
Okay,
this.
312 is brown. Absolutely. Do you want me to host this game or do you just want to start rattling things off?
I had a momentary lapse. I knew 312
By
was
process of deduction, what do you think yellow is now?
I can't.
It's size 10.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you think orange is?
13.
There we go. Undefeated. Undefeated in what color size battery is this?
I can't deal with this pressure.
Yeah. And now because we've completely alienated our entire listening audience and nobody believes she's a doctor anymore, if you think you are in the market for a new hearing aid and want to better understand all the potential features that come with it, avoid Dr. Allie at all costs, and please visit askanaudiologist.com. Dr. Allie, it's always a pleasure with you.
I can't say the same for you.
We'll see you guys next week.
You can find more information at askanaudiologist.com, and you can follow us on all our social channels at Ask an Audiologist. The information provided on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice.
A lot of people tune into this podcast because they want that, quintessential, detailed explanation of audiology-related content.
That's
then there's
a mistake.
other people who are like, they're going to share something with me that at no point I anticipated. And using your iPhone to creep on other people's conversation is their takeaway today.
That's all anyone needs to take away.
That's all anybody ever needs.